strangulation, criminal confinement. I mean, those are violent type offenses.
The problem is this revolving door system of criminal justice where the folks are coming right back out only to commit further crimes.
Some inmates released from jail without first seeing a judge. Call 6 Investigates is working for you tonight, uncovering something that has been kept quiet, and even law enforcement and city officials did not know about it. Now they do, and they are not happy. It's a story you'll only see on RTV6. Call 6 Investigates. Paris LaBelle joins us live tonight. Paris, what is going on?
Raphael, we first learned about this from one of our sources, so we went digging for this document. We eventually got it from the Marion County Superior Court, and we took it to city county counselors and Metro Police. They say they didn't even know it existed.
That's very concerning.
The new rule determines the bail amount for a person charged with a crime without the person ever seeing a judge. In the past, a judge would hear the initial case and the charges and then determine a bail amount. Now that process is removed. Call 6 obtained the 5-page document from the Marion County Superior Court. It lays out the bond amounts for felony charges and misdemeanors. A level 1 felony like attempted murder gets an automatic $50,000 surety bond. With the bail bonds agency, a suspect only has to pay 10% of that. That's only $5,000.
The fact that you have crimes listed on there that are also related to crimes of violence like stalking, and you have a low bond to get right back out.
And it's not just stalking. According to the rule, felony 6 charges like battery, criminal confinement, criminal gang activity, intimidation, strangulation, and more are an automatic $500 cash bail and then they're released. Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder says what's even more concerning is some felony charges have no bail amount at all.
Theft. I mean, my gosh, it's a property crime that is a felony. I think most people would be very concerned to know that somebody could be caught in the act, red-handed, stealing their property and have no bond. Simply be processed and released on their own recognizance.
There are certain enhancements that add $500 more to the bond amount, like a defendant having more than 1 failures to appear or a prior felony conviction, but it does not take any other factors into account. It went into effect in late September, but it was done quietly, and Call 6 has learned Metro Police and the City County Council were left completely out of the loop.
Why are the key partners in the criminal justice process not being engaged in this conversation?
I had no idea that they had been finalized, approved, and were in effect.
Councilwoman Christine Scales sits on the Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee. She knew nothing about this until we handed her a copy earlier this week.
Strangulation, criminal confinement. I mean, those are violent type offenses, and they're traumatic to the victims, but by attaching such a low dollar value in the bail amount, I'm afraid that we're normalizing that kind of violence and minimizing its effect on the community.
Now, we reached out to the Marion County Superior Court and asked them why did they do this, and we asked them for an on-camera interview as well. They declined to have that interview. Raphael, we also found something very interesting in here. One of the felony 6 charges, which is escape, that's $500 bond. That's if you took off an ankle monitoring bracelet or violated a home detention order. Again, only $500, and you're released until your initial hearing.
Call 6 Investigates. Paris LaBelle reporting live tonight, and I'm sure we'll hear more about this ongoing developing story. Before we went on the air, Paris also mentioned to us that this also will have an impact on domestic violence. The new bail bond rule raises the suspect's bail amount to $2,000 for a felony charge of domestic violence. But it's up to a police officer to determine if the case is considered domestic violence under Indiana law. If it is, the suspect must remain in custody for 8 hours before being released. The 8 hours is a state law. But Julia Catheri, the executive director of the Coburn Place Safe Haven, says we need to be looking at the whole system in a different way.
We would build in an assessment system that's been piloted in other counties in Indiana to assess that domestic abuser on what's the likelihood that he or she will repeat that behavior, and build in help into that person's journey in the court system.
This debate will continue. Right now, Marion County does not have an assessment system for domestic violence suspects, and there are no plans for one anytime soon.